We steal the waves in the air and we never give them back. We are. Yes, we are. Lofi Poli Sci coming at you. Michael Pickering here, talking about our famous question: what's going on in the world today? And we're back from the week that was last week. Let's go with that Lo-Fi Global, coming at you with that news, fresh off that press. Yes, indeed, so much going on. Let's see what's happening. President AMLO of Mexico had a vote to kick himself out of office that he called himself, but he won, so he stays in. Peru was about to release former resident asshole Alberto Fujimori from prison, but the Inter-American Court said no go, and Peru listened. Intriguing indeed. The former and very recent ex-president of Honduras, President Hernandez, has been extradited to the U.S. and has appeared in U.S. courts, trying a former head of state in the U.S. legal system. We'll see how this goes. Stay tuned, Lo-Fi listeners. In Tunisia, the president-turned-dictator has announced his new and improved electoral commission that will oversee elections in the future for the country. That is, of course, if the country ever has elections again. We'll be surprised to see who wins. And for a final bit of global presidential news, France is having presidential elections, or had one by the time you listen to this, and you'll likely already know who won. But right now, it's current President Emmanuel Macron versus Marine Le Pen. We'll be talking about this later in the week for sure. But enough presidential news for now. To the internet, where I'm sure everything has just been going fine and dandy. And an update. And sadly, what feels like a final update to this story. But we've been following the events surrounding Egyptian TikToker Haneen Hussam, who was facing charges of human trafficking on TikTok for trying to show girls how to make money using the internet. The Egyptian courts gave her 3 years in prison. Damn. This is some bullshit. And in Afghanistan, the Taliban has officially announced the banning of TikTok. Go figure. What? A damn surprise. And in Russia, a female university student from the African country of Zambia was arrested for posting a video of herself dancing at a World War II memorial in Russia to Instagram. And I haven't seen the official charges yet, only that there's talk of her twerking at the memorial, posting it to Instagram, and the Russian government saying something about her caption to the video joking about Nazism. Russian government. Vlad the Impaler Putin? Do you even know what twerking is? Get the hell out of here with this bullshit. The student has been released pending trial and has already released an official apology video. And we wonder, who made her record that video? Question mark? And in other recent news about Russia and the world, the G20 met last week, which is the group of 20 largest economies in the world, and multiple times. When Russia went to speak, different representatives from different Western countries walked out of the room. A little diplomatic protest action going on for you at the G20, just because, well, Russia's attack on Ukraine, of course. But what does the G20 do? Question mark. And what's Russia's role in it? Right in, Lo-Fi listeners. And a last piece of that Lo-Fi Global for the minute. An update to Saudi Arabia-Iran talks, which we've been talking about for quite some time. And these two countries, they actually had a meeting in secret that we just found out about. We didn't know about it. We still don't know what was exactly talked about, but what's this mean? The two countries met in Iraq. And what this means is that these two countries are still talking, still really trying to figure out a way to move forward together, which could completely change the power dynamics in the Middle East. We'll be keeping a close eye on this one for sure, and let you know more when we do, Lo-Fi listeners. Yes, indeed, but now let's switch gears just a bit and get you that 5-day Metro New Orleans weather and the weekend box office report. Everyone always wants to know, is it cloudy? With a chance of meatballs, we got you covered, Nova. Monday, highs of 83 and a low of 69 and 55% chance of those meatballs. But it's not all clouds and meatballs today. But Tuesday, it is most certainly clouded with a chance of meatballs at 80%, so bring that meatball repellent umbrella. And a high of 80 degrees. Damn, it's warm and humid. It's summertime. No, wait, it just turned to spring. Oh, wait, we don't have a spring. It's just gonna get hot and wet and humid. Oh, summertime, no less summertime. And Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, mostly sunny skies, almost no clouds, with temps ranging from the low 80s to the mid-60s. And that's your 5-day weather, Nola, but always remember, it is New Orleans. It could rain every day and any day. Don't forget to look outside before you walk outside. That's what I like to say. All right. Now, how about that weekend box office? Stop the music. We're about to be entering the summer box office season? And does anyone even care? Who cares anymore? But coming in, the top 5 movies seen this weekend at the box office. Number 5, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, with 7.1 million in ticket sales. Number 4, The Northman, at $12 million. Number 3, Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore at $14 million, and yes, they are still making these movies. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at $15.2 million, and yes, they made a first one of these movies. And number 1, The Bad Guys at $24 million in ticket sales. And did you check out a movie this weekend? What'd you go see? How was it? Write it, record it, send it on in. We'll play it on air. And has the Batman finally beaten Spider-Man? Has it overtaken its $1.8 billion at the box office? Oh, hell no, it barely reached $800 million, still $1 billion to go, and it's already out of the top 5. Sorry, DC fans. Seems like Marvel wins again. All right, enough. Cue the music. It's time for that deep dive in connecting the dots. Connecting the dots, we go into one global news story, dig into the heart of it all, and then let you know why it all matters. Today, we're talking about Palestine and Israel. Yeah, we are. You know, I thought about easing back into things with the show because of everything going on in my personal life and taking a week off from casting. But then I thought about it and decided that's simply not the way of Lofi Poli Sci. Nope, not how we roll. But this isn't going to be your normal Connecting the Dots segment. I'm not diving into the background and the history of it all that much. I'm not diving into what's going on right now that much. All of you can get that stuff from everywhere right now, without a doubt. The one part I will say about this past that led up to this present is that pre-World War I, the Middle East was entirely controlled by the Ottoman Empire. In 1918, the Ottoman Empire was on the losing side of the war, and the empire was dissolved, and Western powers, in a true Western style, colonized the Middle East. Then World War II takes place. Then it ends, and then the West does in the Middle East exactly what the West did in Africa and everywhere else in the world. They began decolonization. And you can just imagine that the West mucked everything up via colonization and decolonization, left post-colonial legacies, and started neocolonization, and border disputes erupted all over the planet. Thank you, West. Your post-colonial legacies are still mucking up things. Now, why am I not going into the events in Israel and Palestine post-World War II? You may be asking. Because again, all of you can read that for yourselves everywhere right now. There is no lack of coverage about what's taking place right now. And because we've talked about this topic at great lengths during Season 3, almost exactly a year ago, during a conflict between Israel and Gaza, and during the 4th election in Israel trying to find a new coalition to govern the country, and about former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu being tried for corruption. We talked about all those things. A lot. And all those things are being talked about right now. A lot. What we're going to talk about today is something that isn't getting talked about a whole lot. We're going to talk about you, me, and the we that we be. And we're going to talk about how you can do something no one else in the world has ever done before. We're going to talk about how you can bring peace to Palestine and Israel. You see, I'm going to do what no one else is doing right now. I'm going to ask you some questions at the end of all this. And I'm going to tell you why you matter. You see, real talk, all of you that know, you know the past 2 weeks have been hard for me. You know that's why I had to take a week off last week. But what you may not know, well, you probably could have guessed, just because I had to focus on me and my family, doesn't mean I unplugged from you and the world. And perhaps that's what all of this is, what we're doing right here, right now, is truly all about. The idea that we're never unplugged. The idea that we never go through anything alone. The idea that we, and the we that we be, is 24/7, 365. And more real talk, just like you, I too get tired. I too feel the weight on my shoulders. And I too am exhausted. I'm tired that every time I prep for a cast, I have to sift through a majority of negative news about the world. I'm tired that every time I prep for a show, it takes me forever to find some feel-good stories to end the show with so that you know that the world isn't all doom and gloom. I'm tired of us as human beings just talking about what's going on in the world today. And I want to start talking about what we're going to do about what's going on in the world tomorrow. And that's what today's Connecting the Dots is about. And honestly, this may be a pretty quick conversation today, or a very long one, who knows, you know me. But part of the reason it may be very brief is simple. Because it's not my conversation. This isn't my Connecting the Dots segment. This is all about us and you and what we're going to do. I need you. We all need you. So let's start talking about tomorrow by talking very briefly about yesterday. If our conversation is about bringing peace to Palestine and Israel, then it starts by acknowledging one simple fact. There isn't any right now. And whomever was trying to bring peace yesterday failed. Period. All the things that have been tried since decolonization took place have failed. And the proof of that is that there is no peace right now. Now, let's be clear about one thing, Lo-Fi listeners. I'm not casting blame, and I am not throwing shade. I am saying what was done in an effort for peace failed. Now, let's talk about you and me and the we that we be. You see, you took no part in those past things. You are far too young for governments and leaders to listen to, and you don't make decisions that craft legislation and laws. You had absolutely nothing to do with those past failures in trying to achieve peace. And that is perhaps why you are best suited to bring peace. But you out there listening to my voice right now, you cannot do this alone. You know what's one of the most common things I hear old people say about young people? And mind you, this is old people from all over the world, about young people from every country, every culture, every race, every religion. It goes something like this. Begin bullshit quote. Oh, young people, so idealistic, their heads in the clouds, thinking they can change the world. Just wait till reality hits them. End bullshit quote. And you know why that's a bullshit quote? Because the old people today using that quote, they weren't the ones who created it. In fact, they were once the youth that it was used on. And the really bullshitty part of this is, this means that as those youth got older, they bought into the bullshit that they could not make a difference. But there is a silver lining in that quote that few people ever really talk about. That is, it's used to describe young people in every country, every culture, every race, every religion. That quote and its universal usage illustrates something that you share with every other person of your generation in the world. Hope, belief, faith that who you are matters, and what you choose to do affects us all. You see, identity politics divide us especially well when we get older. But that's then. And we're talking about now. You and your generation have made things like inclusivity one of the most sacred beliefs. The idea of accepting someone for who they are, and not as the world would tell you they are. In your life, you shed the tyranny of stereotypes, racism, bigotry, and you say who an individual is matters. Inclusivity is your generation. And my friends, you will need that inclusivity to bring peace to Israel and Palestine. You possess so many gifts that those before you never had. You tear down the walls that those before you built. You disregard the borders that those before you drew. And you open yourself and your heart to other human beings, regardless of who they are, their creed, or the color of their skin. You, like no one who came before you, love unconditionally. And you will need that love and inclusivity to bring peace to Palestine and Israel. But because you have that gift, that most sacred belief, you are better equipped to do this. But you can't do it alone. And here's a question for you. What exactly do I mean by that? You see, the we that we be is extremely diverse, and how each of you listening think about who you are, the answer to that question will differ. And at the same time, it is the exact same answer for all of you. But this answer, I cannot give you. This answer is yours to create. And your answer will change the world. It starts with you. It comes from within you. And it belongs to all of you. That's why you listening at home matter. That's why you listening to my voice right now matter. Now, with all that being said right about now, just quite a few of you may be wondering, so what? Blah, blah, blah. We are the world. We matter. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Why should I care? And the quick answer I'll give you, you always know. I will never tell you that you should care about anything. What you care about is your business. People are diverse and different. Instead, what I'll do is I'll tell you why all this matters to me. You see, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I wanted to make the world a better place than I found it. And I cannot do it alone. Most of my generation, although they aren't in power yet because we're not as old as you may think we are, but most of my generation has become complacent with the status quo and have become incredibly preoccupied with their own personal affairs. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to live a good and happy life and have children and raise them and provide for them and do all the things that make you happy. Those things are amazing. And without my generation doing that, I honestly never would have met you. But when a baby is born, they do not have an initial thought of when they come out the womb, oh shit, now it's my turn to fuck up the world. No, babies aren't born that way. But those who are in power currently, they're fucking up the world. And they were once born as babies too, just like us. It's just somewhere down the road, they made a series of choices that led to them creating craziness. I want to undo that craziness. But for my part, there are 200 or so countries in the world with thousands of issues in each of them, and I cannot do it alone. Hell, I can't even tell you what's going on in the world today in all 200 countries because there's just so much, and you know it. But as I keep pushing to see what's happening out there for all of us, it's about time we start talking about what's going on in the world tomorrow, right now. And for that, I need you. We all need you. You creating peace in Israel and Palestine matters to me because when you do this, and I purposefully say when you do this, it'll show everyone in the world just what you can do. It'll show everyone in the world that all challenges can be overcome through inclusivity and love. And those are the gifts of your generation. And that, my friends, is connecting the dots, Lofi Poli Sci style. All right, let's reset. Cue some music. A little Lofi Poli Sci original title. For you. So you know I'm here. We'll be back in a second. So you know I'm here. Who you are matters, and whatever you're going through, and wherever you are, and whatever you choose to do, I am always here for you. Now let's switch gears to one of everyone's favorite Monday segments out there. Oh, I know you love this one. It's Lo-Fi Global Riddlevla. Now, what the hell is Riddlevla, and what happened to Lo-Fi Global Trivia? Oh, and simple answer there, we've trivia'd you enough. Let's get our riddle on. Time for 5 fast-paced global riddlevia for you, my friends. And what is a riddlevia? Well, it's like the word selfie, but not. Let's go. Riddle me this, riddlevia that. What travels around the world, but stays in one corner? What travels around the world, but stays in one corner? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Riddlevia says, a stamp. Oh, bullshit. Who the hell uses a stamp anymore? Why would we even think of that, Riddlevia? Well, riddle me this, Riddlevia that. The more you take, then the more you leave behind. What am I? The more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Riddlevia says, footsteps. Oh, how profound. I know, right? Riddlevia this. What comes once a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Riddlevia says, the letter M. Oh, no, that's a trickaroo. I was thinking it was about time, not the damn alphabet. I know. But Riddlevia this, then. Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain on Earth? Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain on Earth? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Riddlevia says, you know the answer. It's Mount Everest, of course. And alas, Riddlevia for the day. I am not myself. I am you, though you are not me. I'm always by myself, though I am never alone. I am not myself. I am you, though you are not me. I'm always by myself, though I am never alone. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The we that we be. Let's take a quick break and listen to some tunes and take a trip together with our very own to the airport. Back in a second. lo-fi airport music we could only dream. All right, let's tune the music in and then turn it down. It's Lo-Fi Storytime with Pickering. Each story time, I'm going to give you a piece of me, a story from my life. For today, I want to tell you a story about the last 2 weeks. And I'll start by saying, not everyone knows. And for those who know, I never knew if I was going to actually tell you. It was very much a last-second decision to tell you. And this story time, I've been thinking about, but I wasn't sure if I was even going to do it until I went to cast today, and then I decided I did want to share it with everyone. So here we are. Here we go. Last week I took off because my grandfather passed away, and I had to leave town for the funeral and to be with family and to just be. He was 95. And I don't know what to say about it other than I just wanted to say something. And to say thank you to so many of you. You truly reached out. You took me by the hand. You were there for me. You know, you made a choice. I am eternally grateful for that choice. You know, human beings, there's no written rule book on how to be nice, or how to be courteous, or how to be human. And real talk, professors never normally really ever know anything about their students. Professors normally can never tell if their students are who they are inside the class versus outside. Professors normally don't know who their students are. But if there's one thing you have shown me over our time together, it's that there's nothing normal about us. There's nothing normal about our classes, about who we are, about the lives we share, the emotions we feel, and the tears that we shed. If anything, this story time isn't about a piece of my life. It's about a piece of our lives. You bring joy to our lives. You bring laughter and hope. And you bring a smile that lifts my heart. You were there for me. And you are here for me. And as is my way, that you all know me really well enough to know it's always important for me to tell you that I'm always here for you. This next track I released on Friday, and I play it here with a little context, which honestly I didn't think I would do this. I've told 2 people what this song is about. But now, I'm telling all of you. I'm just feeling it. So here we go. This mix has 2 purposes. One was to let all of you know that even though I was out for a week, that I was still here. And 2, for all the things that I can't say about the passing of my grandfather and the emotions we all feel when we lose a loved one. This mix and lo-fi music is my way of processing things. The track's titled For You, Part 2, so you know I'm here. If that lo-fi mix isn't all over the place, I don't know what is. But it's all good. Sometimes we all need to be everywhere all over the place. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we're back with a last couple of pieces of news to send you on your way for the day. Some not-so-heavy headlines, 5 quickies / pieces of fun for you. In Florida, a woman, a bride, was arrested for potentially drugging her guest by putting weed in the reception food. Oh, come on now, really? Help the effort. Conserve the weed and stop drugging people. It ain't funny. Out in the UK, Surfers Against Sewage, which I love that name, by the way, helped organize protests against companies dumping sewage in rivers and other waterways in the UK. My favorite picture from it? People dressed as mer people, with a kid in the background with a sign that reads, "Birds, not turds." Love it, people. Help the effort save the birds. A new millipede was discovered and named in honor of Taylor Swift in the Journal of Zookeys. Narnia swiftia, a.k.a. the swift-twisted claw millipede. And the United Nations Environment Program has named David Attenborough. No, I do not call him sir because I believe kings and queens and knights and nobility are all kinds of bullshit. But anyway, the UN Environment Program has named Attenborough, wait for it, champion of the Earth for his efforts to battle climate change and educate us on planet Earth. Double entendre right there for you peeps. You get it. I know you do. And a last piece of news to send you on your way for the day, for the week. Carnival has returned to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Check out the pictures, peeps. It's always important to celebrate life. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Right into the show. Check us out on www.lofipolisci.com. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, myself on LinkedIn. Connect to us, people. And it's not a cliche or a catchphrase. It's a lifestyle. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Talk to you next time, Lofi listeners. Pickering, signing off. A little behind the scenes for all you listeners that stuck around. Though not really behind the scenes, just more like behind my life. So I'm a huge animal lover, all right? And New Orleans is all about their puppies and dogs, which I love dogs. I don't have a dog, but I love them. What? I don't really like touching dogs or dogs touching me. If you know me, you know I'm the world's biggest germaphobe. For example, when I use hand sanitizer for the first time, the first thing I sanitize in a communal bottle is the hand sanitizer bottle itself. Then I dry my hands, then sanitize my hands from touching the hand sanitizer bottle. And yes, believe me, I'm fully aware of it as well. So dogs are great. I love them. I love dog people. But I was coming out of a place the other day and 2 people walk up right as I was getting out of the doorway, and they just had a dog who just all kind of started sniffing me.